Hi there. Thanks for tuning in again to the Tribal Teacher. Today's story is about a young lady. She's 15, ninth grader at her high school, and she is from a mixed family. Her mom is from Honduras, her dad is from Mexico. They are married and they have a wonderful family. Inside the family dynamics, though, the father prefers his daughters, the mom loves her sons and completely ignores her daughters, where the father preferring the daughters and completely ignoring his sons. Vero was her name, and we picked up on her early at school. She is very good in her studies. She applies herself well. She has good peers, and she is part of the crowd that's going somewhere. In her yearbook, you will see that they said she would be one of the most promising for graduation from with the 8th grade group. Now she's in ninth grade, and the dynamics in the family hasn't changed. Vera needs a little bit more love as far as the love languages. She wants some more attention from her mom. But remember, her mom is from Honduras, and her mom does not like her daughters. Her mom prefers only her sons, and Vero has picked up on it. Her dad is a workaholic. He is Mexican. He works a lot. He provides well for the family, and he loves his daughters. But he's not enough for what Vero needs in terms of her love language. So here comes Vero. She's ninth grader. All the promises of a great future. She's intelligent, she's young, she's attractive, and she also has a secret desire to become a gangbanger. She thinks by becoming a gangbanger, her parents will pay her some more attention, that the gangs at school would be scared of her, and she would get the respect that she so longed for from her mother. So she decided, with some gangbangers at school, to jump into a gang. At the time, the gang was called White Fence. Now, White Fence had a philosophy of treating the young girls in their gang as objects. They do anything they want to with them. They basically have them around for entertainment and for sexual pleasure. Little Miss Vero did not know this. She just wanted to be a gangbanger, and White Fence was the first gang that offered her a way to become that. They told her she had to fight off the three toughest girls in the band, in their gangbang. And she thought, well, she could handle that. The top 3 toughest girls in White Fence would have a battle with her. So the night that was selected for her to be jumped in, she had to battle all 3 girls at separate times, and she had to win them. So she was doing great. She was beating them one by one. She was showing that she was tough, that she had the fortitude to hang in there in a gang-banging situation. And she won all 3 girls. She had bruises, yes, she had marks. She had black and blue spots on her body, moretes in Spanish, all over. But she was down for it, and she was glad to be of the group of girls that was selected to join in with the White Fence crew. So here she was, the night of the battling. She had just beaten up all 3 top girls, and yes, they did leave some marks on her, but she was down for it. And then here comes the boys. All the boys in the gang, after she was beaten down, decided that they would all take turns sleeping with her. Vero did not know this part, and they didn't tell her. She was caught completely by surprise, and in this case, we're calling it the she-cat pension, because she is the she-cat. She's the one who will be penetrated by all these gang-banging boys in a game that they call jumping in. Well, Vero passed out after the 10th boy had slept with her, back to back, and she woke up, didn't tell anybody anything. She did not explain the scars and the marks on her body to her daddy because he was not home. He was at work. Her mom basically doesn't pay her that much attention, so she didn't even notice that she had black and blue marks all over her body. So back to the theory again of this family. Mom loves her sons and prefers her sons, and Dad loves his daughters, but he's not home enough due to him being a workaholic kind of daddy. He provides very well for his family, but he's not there to pay particular attention to each of the girls. So Vero, after a month, noticed that she did not have her period. She did a pregnancy test, and yes, she was pregnant. Because of the chain of boys who had slept with Vero, Vero decided on having an abortion, and she did, because she did not know who was the father of her child, and it was not part of the formula that she was thinking was the jumping in formula to the white fence crew. So here comes the solutions. What do you think Vero could have done differently? Do you think by the way the family was, Mom liking her sons and preferring them over her daughters, do you think this was a reason or a little motivation for Vero to go behind the family's back and go do a jumping in because she wanted to belong to a family that cared? Because white fence in the community, they show care for their members, they look out for each other, they nurture, they back up, they are there as a support group for any member of their crew, their gang, that they want to be supportive of. Vero was yearning for this kind of attention, yearning for this kind of respect, yearning for this type of nurturing, and she found it with the white fence gang. Now, what about the father? The father works, and yes, he is a strong provider. He's a good man. He loves his daughters, makes sure everything they need, they have. But the mom, what do you think we should do with the mom? Do you think that it was okay for Vero to be penetrated by all the male gang members after she had done the beating down of the toughest girls? What do you think she could have done differently? Could somebody have whispered to her that when she was finished fighting three top girls that she would have to then submit her body to the gang-banging boys? What do you think the she-cat mentioned in the title? What do you think that she-cat pension was for Vero? Do you think she even told her father what had happened? I don't think she did, but what do you think? What do you think he would have done or could have done or should have done had he known that she was going through the process of becoming a gangbanger? She really wanted to be a gangbanger, and yes, she could hold her own, but did she plan on having a pregnancy as a result of that night's activity? Yes, she did do her abortion, and do you think she is now at 9th grade, barely 15 years old, equipped to handle all of the guilt and all of the feelings that will follow her through her life, knowing that she was forced to end a pregnancy that she did not ask for, that she didn't want, but it was part of the process that she selected. So these are some ideas that you could think about as you discuss what could Vero have done differently. Do you blame her mother for ignoring her daughters? Could somebody inside the family have noticed that Vero had black and blue marks all over her body and could have even wondered why or what had happened? Remember, her mom is oblivious to what her daughters do, but she's overprotective of her sons. So do you blame her mother for the way she is? What do you think happened in this family to cause her mom to be like this? Her daddy, by the time he got home in the evening, he came home every night. He was a very faithful man, provided well for his family, and made sure his daughters were in the home and safe. What do you think he could have done differently from what he was doing? So now let's look at some alternate outcomes. Do you think it was fair for the boys in White Fence to take turns sleeping with the girl who they were trying to jump in as one of their members? Do you think Vero had a clue that after she had beaten down the toughest girls, 3 of them, that then when she was at her weakest point, that it was time for her to open up her legs and absorb 10 boys, and more were in line waiting, each one of them to have sex with her? Do you think she even remembered how many boys had sex with her that night. She does remember passing out after number 10. And when she woke up, she went home, but she didn't know she was pregnant until a little bit after that. Do you blame her for having an abortion? What would you have done? Or would you have kept the child, knowing that you don't know which one of the gangbanging boys would be the father of that child? Were you ready to give up your education at 9th grade? Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear from you on this one. Talk to you soon.